Welcome back to an episode of the Pitchmark Collective. I'm Cameron, your host, also known as a former Augusta National patron of last year, 2024. We've got some special guests here today joining us. First, we got Tyler Bell, the merchandiser's best friend, because he's never left a pro shop without several purchases. He's actually wearing a merch hat here from his local bakery. So no industry left unturned with you, Tyler.
No, not at all. Former 2018 Augusta National patron, and brought along a very good friend of mine, Matt Galloway from the Fried Egg. Matt, thanks for taking some time today.
Yeah, TV. I have seen the merchandising purchasing in person in real life, and buddy, it's I never seen someone salivate in a pro shop more than this guy.
He goes rabid, Matt.
It's not that bad. I've seen much worse. But yeah, I have a problem.
Yeah, at least the first step's admitting that, Tyler. Good job.
Yeah. So a little background on Matt. Matt was a former big break contestant, former Division II national champion. Matt and I went to the same school, University of West Florida. We've actually got an Argonaut in the playing on the PGA Tour this week, and Chandler Blanchet, I think, is how they've now started to pronounce his name.
It'll always be Blanchet.
I was gonna say it's Blanchett to me, but Matt, you also spent 6-7+ years on Michelle Wiesbag on the LPGA Tour.
I worked on the LPGA Tour for 6-7 years. I caddied for Michelle for 3.
Gotcha. My apologies.
It's all right.
That's a pretty nice detail to the resume, if you ask me, Matt. So I'm interested to hear more about that experience as well. You know, as you're walking around with Michelle Wies. So. Matt, anything you want to add to Tyler's introduction there?
No, that's a fair assumption. Yeah, I did play in a big break. I lost to a girl. I'm surprised he didn't throw that part in there. I'll body myself with that one. I'm just a stay-at-home dad turned podcaster, former caddy, want to be mid-am. So it's kind of like basically all those things rolled into one. Becoming reinstated amateur.
Where's the handicap at currently, Matthew?
It's a +3 or something. I'm trying to pad it back up. Handicaps don't matter when you're playing mid-am events. It's just a matter of how many birdies you can make.
Yep. And you're located in Florida?
Yeah, Tampa. Yeah, that's how play a lot of golf with Tyler down there in Sarasota area. Some good golf down there. So that's how me and Tyler's relationship kind of kicked off.
Very nice.
Yep. Moved back home, and Matt was one of the first people to hit back up, and just so happened to be right around the time I joined Sarah Bay. He wanted to be friends again. So no, it's,
it worked out. There was a mid-am qualifier there, U.S. mid-am qualifier, first one I ever qualified for, thanks to Tyler's. I violated his guest policies. I think I hit all my guest rounds that year. So yeah, Sarah Bay's great.
Yeah, no, it's a great spot. I know Cam's been out there a bunch with me as well, so I know he'll echo the same sentiments.
That was my first private country club experience was Sarah Bay, and I couldn't have asked for a better one. I love that place.
Yeah, it's just another club in the country. Yeah,
spending time with Tyler is usually hit or miss, but I think we're 3 for 3 at Sarah Bay, so it was a good spot to play golf at. Cool, Matt. Tyler and I were talking, and with the updates with LIV Golf, he said you might be interested in providing some thoughts on where things are heading in that direction to kick us off. I'm curious to know what your thoughts were. Was it 4.5, 5 years ago now when all of that started, the conversations? What your thoughts were at the beginning, and now where they're at with this kind of update of the future kind of in question for LIV Golf?
Oh man. I
could give my thoughts if you'd like to set you up a little further,
Sure. Go far away. I mean, we don't need to go run through an anthology and history of what happened with LIV, but it's just basically, it's kind of a sideshow if you ask me. But that's one way to land at it. It's been really amusing watching this news the last couple of days.
Mm-hmm. Originally,
I
was like
the LIV bots are loving this.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, there are a lot of robot followers going to those Russian Twitter accounts, if you ask me. But anyways, I thought LIV was probably like a good idea, quote unquote, but just the way it handled just throwing money at stars, seeing who sticks. I was like, is that really the way to go? Healthy competition is pretty much always good, right? But I don't know if this was very healthy at all. And it's not shocking to me that 4.5, 5 years down the road, we're like, is it going to make it past this season? So
Yeah.
I wasn't necessarily supportive, but I was like, let's see what happens,
I mean,
Yeah,
personally, I tried
sorry,
watching a
go
little
ahead.
bit of it and never really, it's not my thing. Like, happy to let them exist in their world. I'm not going to like rant and say it's silly. Let them exist. I don't, from what the news seems like, and the actual reporting that's happened from the actual journalists, not some like, the Twitter bees, like from the burnerverse or whatever. I don't think it's going to last past a year. It sounds like it's pretty dead if they don't have any funding from the fire hose of Piff.
Yeah, I had a conversation with Cam earlier in the week, and once the words force majeure started kind of populating itself around the internet, and given everything that's going on in the Middle East and how big of an impact tourism has on the PIF, like you just have to think that is that there's a lot of smoke, and obviously when there's smoke, there's fire. And I think Scott O'Neill's comments, having changed from literally what he was telling people last week on site at Augusta that they were funded through 2032 to now saying in his interview today with Oliver Wilson that that they're funded through the end of the year. And just like any startup, you have to then create a business plan to turn around and try and figure out what the future looks like. Is I think you kind of maybe got caught with your pants down here, and you gotta, it's gonna unravel one way or the other, and it's not gonna be good.
Yeah, is this the interview they already took down from the internet?
Yes.
I heard he got scrubbed.
Yes, it got scrubbed, and then somebody was able to put it out and transcribe it. So, again, it doesn't look good. I think what will be interesting is what happens with Bryson and John Rahm. I know there's a lot of people that say that the tour shouldn't take them back, but I also don't think that if Brian Rolapp is in power, and say it's still Jay Monahan, I don't know that Brooks Koepka's brought back. But I think, obviously with Rolapp, there's, there was a desire to regain some strength with the PGA Tour. Brooks's people had already started to engage with the tour and whatnot. I don't see a world where if LIV is no longer in existence at the end of 2026, that Rahm and Bryson aren't back on tour in some sort of capacity.
As strictly of a fan, like, it just wouldn't make sense to me, like, to not give them a relatively, I'll say, quote unquote, easy path back to the tour. Like Rahm and Bryson were, Bryson had his antics before his PR, reformation. Still probably pretty fake. Some people call him next Phil. I'm not necessarily saying that, but I've heard that. From a fan, it would be kind of dumb of them not to like say, here's a relatively easy path, make the donation, whatever they told Brooks. But also, I'd be interested in a go through Q school conversation with him as well, which you alluded to, Matt. So
I don't know what they're gonna do. I feel like it's gonna be a very moving thing for the next part of the year to see how it all unfolds, because I can see players starting to kind of balk on it if the thing's not going to live through next year. Players might already start to balk on it. I mean, Bryson's throwing temper tantrums down in Mexico City, it looks like today. So
yeah, I just saw that maybe 30 minutes before Tyler hit me up. He's complaining about the grass. This is what we're playing on. Yeah.
I mean, there was rumors flying this week that players weren't getting paid. And I mean, you want to see people start airing dirty laundry, start impacting their wallet.
I'm here for a messy mess of it. Let them have some fun and have a disaster.
Oh, listen, anytime sports washing can be just absolutely just implode from the inside, sign me up for it.
I am kind of curious. No one's really said this yet. The downstream effects of all this. If PIF's pulling their funding from a LIV arena, they have some injection into this Aramco series with LAT, and there's an Aramco championship on the LPGA. I'm curious what the downstream effects of all that kind of look like, but I know it's a smaller lift, so we'll see.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, this obviously, like, you don't want to see it impact things like the Aramco series, and then obviously, all three of us here are big fans of Lauren Coughlin. She just won the Aramco event at Shadow Creek, and from my understanding,
clears.
Yeah, for sure. But also, that's from my understanding become a very popular tour stop for the LPGA players. So, I would hate to see that go away, but I think golf in Vegas is something that I think somebody would pick that up, especially with the fact that the LPGA Tour has gotten the opportunity to have some stars out there. Nelly's played it, I think, every year that it's been out there, and the LPGA continues to grow. I mean, Matt, that's obviously something that you're super passionate about, and we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Sure.
But let's hear a little bit more about your spin around Augusta National last week.
Yeah. Oh, we're just going straight there. Cool.
Oh yeah, that's why you're here.
I've been anxiously waiting to hear your thoughts on it and compare from mine last year, Tyler's in 2018. So
yeah, first time there, kind of a very last minute. A good friend of mine, Kyle Morrison, caddies for Alex Noren. They obviously, caddies get tickets and stuff like that. Not only one ticket a day, I think. He reached out and was like, "Hey man, you want to come to the practice rounds?" It was a very simple yes. Had to move some stuff around in my family life to be able to have someone take care of the kids so I can go up there. My wife was great. Got that set up. Got up there. It was kind of like a hectic thing because Alex and Kyle were in San Antonio Sunday playing 27 holes. We were kind of stressing out, making sure they didn't push into Monday because that would kind of jam me up of going on Monday. A little stressful there. I drove up to Statesboro, Georgia. Only place in within 2 hours I can get a hotel room that was under $350 and not like someplace you might think you're gonna die in. Drove up there Monday morning, crack of dawn early, paid some lady like $40 to park in her yard. So it was hard because the coordinating, getting the ticket was kind of like the logistical part. But my buddy was just getting in there early Monday morning, got the ticket through him. The funny part is, so I ended up going in like this gate 4 with my buddy who caddies, which is like right there by the tournament practice area, whatever they call it, the range. So I didn't go in the official north gate with all the patrons. He goes into the caddy area to go work, essentially. I'm standing there with my ticket and like no idea where to go. And I'm like on the back side of the range. Like, if you're on the range, to the right of the range is like the caddy area, caddy hut. Behind the range is that new player services building. So I'm kind of behind all that and no idea where I'm going. And I asked one of these Securitas guys, I'm like, "Hey man, where do I go?" And they're like, "Oh, go down that way, take a right at this building, take a second left here and get on a sidewalk." And I'm like, I'm going to mess this up. Go meandering down that way, take a right where I think I didn't take a right. It's just a bunch of white buildings. I'm behind everything. There's not a soul to be seen. Bunch of white buildings. I'm like, either I'm going to get like sniped by some Augusta National, sniper rifle, or I'm going to get yelled at for going the wrong way. So I just started walking down the road where I think was the right direction. And lo and behold, I'm walking down this road and I get yelled at within 2 seconds. Guy's like, "Hey man, can we just ask you to get off the road?" I'm like, "Okay, sure. Do you want to tell me where to go?"
Yeah, you're like, "I'm just trying to get to my allotted area."
Yeah, we're the normal
pass.
people allowed to go.
Yeah.
And so he sent me down the sidewalk, like walking down the side of the member range, and that kind of meanders back. And I kind of started figuring out where to go. And I was like, "Oh, I think I'll just go this way." So I turn right, walk through this open gate, and it's like, you see all these people. They see this massive merch line, stumble on the merch center, and it's just like a 2-hour line, and that's the merch area. I'm like, forget that. So I was by myself. My whole mission for the day was like, I just want to see the golf course. Never seen the place before. Obviously, you see it on TV, played on the simulator, seen enough videos. Well, I'm enough golf junkie where I know the golf course pretty much like the back of my hand, not even being there. Kind of took in the range for a little bit. No one was really warming up. It was like 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. No one's really even hitting balls. So it's like, all right, I'll just go start walking. So got through all the people and just went straight down the hill, kind of stood there on 1 tee, looked at 1 tee while no one was there, went to 18 green, 9 green, 10 tee, that whole area right there, took it all in before anyone was really congregated. 10 tee was kind of surprising. I thought the hole like slung harder left than it does. Like you don't have to like hit a rope hook like I thought you did. It is massively downhill. That's not surprising at all. But like I can see how guys are starting to hit high cuts over those trees now. I'm like, oh, you can just like send it up there and it's not a problem. And then, I just started going down the hill, walked down the hill, got a little breakfast, chicken biscuit down there at the bottom of the hill on 18T from the nice concession stand there. And that was the one. Those concession stands operate like it's like a well-oiled machine.
Concession areas and the bathrooms are the two things I will always take away from the Masters. Is just like
the whole operational
like,
efficiency of the place. It's like they obviously know what they're doing. They've been doing it for many years now, 90 times, I guess, 90th Masters.
Right.
So yeah, it was just, that was a wonder. Just kind of like I took my chicken biscuit, sat on the grandstand on my 17 green, ate my breakfast, and I just want to take all the holes. So I started walking the back nine backwards, did all that, kind of like, no one was really playing at that time. It was still early Monday morning. I think Shane Lowry was playing early in the back nine. Saw him and Ryan Fox play 14. That was fun. And then just kind of took it all in. Stood on Amen Corner for a while. And then by the time you get back up the hill at noon, ran into some old friends. Kind of like, the whole big tree thing, running into a bunch of people talked to some folks. Yeah, it was a fun day, man. It was just kind of seeing the golf course, taking everything in. Everything was in perfect shape. You're just kind of like, yeah, they have a good golf course here.
What do you think of just like the size of the greens? I know you and I kind of kicked around a conversation about they look much bigger on TV, but statistically, they are the third smallest greens that they play on tour.
Yeah, I don't know any figures. You're like, get there, you're like, holy cow, these are way smaller than I thought they were going to be. Yeah. I was kind of like, oh, the undulations are there. You're like, oh, there's definitely some movement in them. It's really cool seeing the OG McKenzie greens that are still there, like 14, 17, like 5, like those greens with all that movement are still there, and it's really cool to see. 7 is small, like a lot of those greens. Yeah. I used to think 7 stunk. I still kind of think 7 kind of stinks, but seeing it from like how much movement's on it, like sideways, left or right, you're like, okay, that's actually a decent little green. I think 4 is now the worst hole in the golf course to me.
It's definitely difficult for sure, but it's just a straight ahead long iron fairway metal. Yeah.
7, I was we stood there for probably an hour just watching guys hit into it and then chip around, putt around to the different hole locations. And I was just like enamored by no flat spot in the green, where these guys were like chipping from, like where their misses were like planning to be, of course, the bunkers in front. I was like 5 was I was like, what is going on with this green? This whole hole is just monstrous. Just imagine how I'm trying to play it. I'm like, this is at minimum a 3-shot hole for my power fade off the tee looking guy here. So
yeah, so when I went in 18, we went down 10. We walked the back 9, came back up, walked the front, and then we walked sorry, back 9, second 9. We walked down 10 first, and the very first thing I thought when I started down 10 tee box was just like, holy crap, like this fairway's massive. And it really is. Like when you're standing there off the tee, you're just looking at it and you're like, God, there is a much larger landing spot here, because from where they show that angle off the television coverage, it's almost like it's like chest, like it's somebody standing there with the camera at their chest, because you can't really see anything off the tee box. And then when you get down there, and Bubba and Ted Scott were walking down behind us, and he was just off to the right, just short of the bunker. And you just like listen to them. Again, this is 2018. So this is about the time that they were getting ready to part ways. But you just listen to them talk through the elevation change, and you're just like, okay, this is the first time. Like once you step foot on property and you see it, and you see how far below the green you are in 10 fairway, you're like, wow.
Yeah, it's not a flat shot out there. It was, I mean, that's the challenge of the place. There's not a flat shot. The greens are moving a lot. You got to be really precise what you're doing in your golf ball. So it's kind of like even 15, you're like walking across the thing there. And you're like, how the hell do you land a wedge on this green and keep it on the plane?
Oh, yeah.
Be a terrifying shot.
Well, it's better yet, like how do you keep it from going long? Like, because it's, and I mean, anything on the back half of that green is just dead. Like you're missing the green. So
yeah, it's a good. Although 15, it's a good hole. It seems kind of one dimensional. It's kind of just like if you hit a tee shot in the right spot, you just go for it. There's not really a lot of like angle factor to it, but it's a good hole. It's all good.
So
Cam Young on Saturday had what, 1 60 in or something like that. Was that 15 or 13 when you hit the tree and it just caromed forward?
Yeah, 15.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Matthew, since you've been there on property compared to like beforehand, when you haven't seen it in person, was there a hole that maybe jumped to the top of your list or surprised you in a sense of layout and like kind of added, to your favorites?
I mean, it's hard on TV to understand how 17 green really works. It's always the one hole I'm like, never really understood what's the fear on the green. And you kind of get there and you're like, oh, yeah, there's like a 20-yard fall off back right at the green. I understand why everyone doesn't want to go there. You see the difficulty in it and you're like, all right, this hole's a little better. 17 bumped. I used to kind of think it kind of stunk, but 17's kind of jumped up a little bit. It still feels like a filler hole. You kind of come off that run of, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and then you kind of get to 17. You're just trying to get to 18. I mean, 18 tee shot is way tighter than I thought it was. You're like, holy cow, those overhanging pines. It's your thread in the needle. I'm trying to really think if there's a hole. I sat on 3 and watched a bunch of guys play 3 in the afternoon, and that 3's awesome. That whole green is awesome. Watching those guys hit pitch shots, the different hole locations, it's a great hole.
Yep. Yeah, we spent a lot of time around green, the 3 green 2 as well, because they're just so much below, and I'm like, there's no way I'm getting my second or third shot probably on this green as a
you're just trying to get it on somewhere on the
double-digit handicap, unfortunately. So, one thing I want to backtrack to is you said when you're trying to find your way to the normal people area, you saw the merch line. Did you end up going into the merch building at all? When did you go? What was the wait like?
I wanted some knucklehead wanted a bunch of those stupid Del Campo socks, so I had to go get some socks for a knucklehead that now he ducks. He's ducking way out of them.
Somebody else got me some too, don't you worry.
Yeah,
I got the same damn ones, buddy.
Hey, listen, man, I gotta be able to rotate. You also told me that you didn't think that you were gonna get anything, so
yeah.
You always gonna have a backup.
The problem with Tyler, if you tell him you're going to a golf course, you're getting a shopping list no matter where you're going. So
my shopping list was very simple. It was just give me a pair of socks.
It's fair. But anyways,
if we really want to talk shopping lists and your friends, we can start with somebody else.
We're not going to bring him into that.
So you just look to make a quick trip in there, get a few.
Yeah, I wanted a couple of things. I wasn't I'm not posting my merch haul video on TikTok or anything, or I kind of despise the whole thing.
Yeah.
That was my only kind of bummer about the whole thing. You can see it's all kind of jumping the shark for me. The whole merchandise thing. I granted, there's this tierology of the merch. You have the normal merch shop, you got the Berkman stuff, you have the stuff in the clubhouse, and it's kind of this tiered factor of you can get access to. So wearing normal master stuff really isn't the stunt that people think it is. But they come out of there with $3,000 worth of stuff. I don't understand why. How much master stuff do you really need? I just wanted a couple things. So I wanted to get something. So my mission throughout the day was to kind of check out the line. I wasn't going to wait 2 hours to do it. I went in about 5:30 p.m. on my way out, and it was a 25-minute wait. And it moves fast. The whole thing goes fast.
Yeah.
You didn't go down to any of the.
What's that, Tyler?
You didn't happen to go down to the other merch pavilion down
when I was
on the second 9?
When I was doing the front 9 walk, I kind of was let's go check out this South Village. And it was an absolute zoo. I think there's a bazillion people down there on 16 doing the skip it thing. And then I go down there to the little merch. I had to go pee. So I was I'm going to go pee and see what the merch line is. The merch line was closed. They weren't accepting new people in the merch line. It was the merch line shut. I'm all right, I'm out of here. So I caught it later at 5 o'clock and it was totally fine.
Yeah. Yeah, when we were there in 18, it was the first year of the big new building. I think we were in it, we were in line for maybe 30 seconds, so it was cool.
We got there I was at the Tuesday round, and we went right in the merch line, probably in line for 90 minutes, and then
I don't know why they had this old golf course there. Why would you spend 90 minutes in a merch line? You got to get that gnome you got up there. That's what you needed, huh?
It's funny. I actually didn't even get the gnome. I had to win that on a random Facebook page. So I don't know.
it's the same place he won our Pinehurst trip to. So I can't give him crap about it.
There you go.
So I wanted the gnome, but I didn't get it. But we got out probably to the course around 9:30. And still had a whole day. There.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I had the whole day. I was just like, I just wanted to kind of get down to Amen Corner before it would turn into like a whole zoo. And it was still like I got down there at 9:30 walking around and it was still busy, but I camped. Like I sat in someone's chair for an hour and I think I started drinking at that point. I had a beer in my hand and sat there and I had my merch haul was the cups. I wanted to see how many cups I can get home. I wasn't digging through the trash, but I brought a nice sizable cup collection home. That was nice.
Yeah, I've got 8. So we got.
So when
at Amen Corner there. So
when I went, obviously, as you guys know, I proposed on 12 to my wife, and
I forgot about that.
And I caught so much crap because Golf Digest ended up writing an article on us and yada yada yada. But the picture that Golf Digest used, you can see the stack of cups laying next to me. And there's like, the clear cup, and then there's the green cup, which obviously was for beer. And in the comments, it was like somebody may have had too much to drink and he may end up regretting this decision. And I just it was kind of funny, it still to this day, like every year, like I'll like scroll back and just kind of read through some of the comments and whatnot. But yeah, I came home with a stack of cups, and that's like always the cool thing. Matt, like when we went down to High Grove, they had the metal cups, the metal Dixie cups. I thought those were sweet. So
I did go home with one of those.
Yeah. I think I threw out I threw one out. I think I threw the last one out the other day. They don't do well in the dishwasher. So like I've got one on my desk here from Pinehurst, and so
the worst
these things
drink
like
in the world.
Horrible, especially when you drink 2 of them.
Wait, what? What's this drink?
It's the woodpecker. It's like a Shirley Temple with like a triple pour of Tito's if you play golf with Cam's childhood best friend.
Oh, that sounds aggressive.
Yeah. It was like cherry cough syrup, and I was
beating the brakes off Tyler on number 2.
Yeah, Cam was beating the brakes off me on course 2, and Cam didn't like his, so I chugged both of them on both the one that I had and his on 11 green. And so,
yeah, couldn't pay me to drink one of those. Good for you.
So let's talk about the tournament. I mean, I made a comment to somebody, I don't remember who it was at this point in time. So this is one of the best Masters I've seen in years, and I did like if you'd asked me what I thought about it on Friday versus what I thought about it on Saturday, they were polar opposites. I mean, the tournament became just an absolute. It was a roller coaster of emotions from Friday to Saturday to Sunday. Like, I thought it was great.
Wait, you're gonna tell me that this Masters is better in 2019?
No, I said one of the.
Okay,
not, it certainly
you said
was not better than 2019.
Hold up here, buddy. We're gonna have to pump the brakes. I
know 2019. 2019. Both my mom and my stepdad, who are not golfers by any means, were in tears watching Tiger win in my living room. So yes, that will forever and always be the Masters that I remember the most.
It was definitely good. I was watching it Friday at the neighbor's house, and I was like, Rory's got this 6-shot lead. I'm like, this thing's over, dude. Like, it's like why are we even watching this tomorrow? But Saturday kind of equalized everything. It was a good fun round. It wasn't as good as last year's. I think obviously the craziness of 2025 was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, we're coming off of 2 really, really, really good tournaments that I, again, in my lifetime, I would say from my golf watching experience started in 99 with O'Meara. And, like I said, it's the 19 being the best. 12 will always kind of hold a special place to me just because it was just that shot. Like you remember that shot that Bubba hit from the trees. But yeah, I mean, Cam, I mean, where does it rank for you?
This year was great. Friday, like you said, Rory going into Saturday with 6-shot leads, like He's just got to make a few birdies, and like this tournament's definitely his. People are already giving it to him on Saturday morning before he teed off. I had financial interest in Cameron Young winning this golf tournament, so I was pulling for him on Sunday. He just couldn't make a putt coming down the stretch. His shot on 8 was awesome to watch, but did he need to do that? I don't know. I don't really recall seeing 8 where you have to go off that hill. I'm probably putting last year towards the top over this year simply because I attended Tuesday. Rory completes the Grand Slam, gets the green jacket monkey off his back. Does he win this year if he doesn't win last year? I don't know, man, because he's been down that road before. With that win last year coming down the stretch, getting into a playoff with Justin Rose. But to echo, I was also in tears in my own living room watching Tiger Woods win in 2019. I probably started watching golf with my grandpa in 2005, which Tiger win, because that's what we did. We watched golf or NASCAR at his house on Sundays, and I wasn't about to watch guys just do a bunch of right turns, for 3 hours.
Is it right turn or left turn?
Left turn, one of those. No, it's right. Don't they go right around? I don't know. I don't watch it, Tyler, so there's your answer. I will say, like, Tiger and then, Jordan Spieth were, like, my guys when I started watching golf. Like, 2015, Jordan winning, him coming on the scene, like, that's a big one. And then 2016, when Jordan Spieth decided to just absolutely give the tournament to Danny Willett on number 12 at Augusta, those are all great. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm going to pick a Jack Nicklaus Masters in 1986 when I wasn't even alive. I know there's a lot of history there, with past winners and the people who came before Tiger's era. But I'm probably putting 2025 up there simply because I was there. Rory completes career Grand Slam. I'm a big Rory guy myself, so.
Just to close the loop on this, they do turn left.
Well, I didn't want to watch a bunch of guys turn left for 4 hours, so.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it was a good match. It was a joy. I had a buddy had a Masters party on Saturday. That was fun, kind of watching all that together with some friends, and then watch it Sunday. Yeah, it was good. It was I wanted Rory to win, kind of like I kind of wanted to see him do it again. I kind of like Rory and what he stands for in the game of golf. Some people don't care for him, but I kind of like the guy. It was either going to kind of go down either two ways, right? It was either going to be like this epic blow up and kind of reignite his demons, or he was going to win. It was going to be this epic win. So it's kind of good either way from like a media side.
Yeah. I thought it would be a floodgate, thing for him, last year when he got his major, his Grand Slam, like, he's going to rattle off a bunch more. I still kind of believe that, especially after going back to back, which is another thing. He's one of 4 people now to do that. And every single guy before him who did it, it's considered, one of the best golfers of all time. So, I woke up Monday morning and I said, you know what? I didn't win my bet, but I do like a Rory win here back to back. And, his comments of, I'm just going to play like I won, like I have a green jacket, because he does. A lot of people saw that as arrogant. I'm like, that's probably the mindset you have to have going into the Sunday round. So,
yeah.
This comes from a guy who's never played a competitive round of golf in his life.
It sounds like his range session on Saturday afternoon kind of like squared it away, because it looked like he was having some problems with his golf swing on Saturday. And I think he kind of got it, back on track a little bit.
It's amazing how he missed like every par 5 fairway the first 3 rounds and was still, 6-shot lead going into Saturday. And then, like you said, back 9, he was lights out. I don't think he really missed a shot, and if he did, his recovery was exactly what he needed it to be. And
I think it all clicked on 12. The tee ball on 12 was
that swing and that shot and the whole like that hold off fade, like that was pretty solid. I was like, damn, that's good.
Yep.
Yeah, it was interesting because I listened to the No Laying Up podcast this week where Neil Schuster got selected for the media lottery, and his caddy told him like, hey, listen, it's pitching wedge to the center of the green, 9-iron to the flag. And like, I just was like that. You go back and you listen to Rory's press conference, and they talk about his interaction with Harry Diamond, and he talks about the shot on 12, and he's like, listen, we could have played it safe, but at that point in time, I saw an opening and I felt confident hitting that shot. It's just like,
well, I think he was kind of playing for that like pin high left deck. He wasn't playing for like right at the flag situation.
No, right. He's playing for it to feed down towards the hole, right?
Yeah.
Like you land in the right spot there and it feeds. But, you go back and you look at where the majority of the people that hit the green on 12, it's to the left side of that.
I think Rory was planning for Cam Young's shot, and it just went a little bit more right than.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like he landed it in the right spot on the right quadrant that feeds to the hole. And, and he said there's that green's not very flat from my understanding. So, it was, he gave himself a flat, 3-4 foot putt, and whole tournament changed. And especially when you're standing on 11 green and you can write it, because Rose was one group behind or one group in front of them, or was he two?
I think one. I don't really.
He was two because it was Shane and.
Oh, that's right, Shane and
Burns.
Burns who played. Yeah, that's right. So
stopped showing their
he
shots.
He didn't see Rose make a mess of the green or off the green. So that was I felt bad for Justin Rose, because it's like the guy. If there's one guy that has certainly played better than others at Augusta, it's him.
I did see someone joke on the internet that he should at least invite him to like the cocktail party for the Champions Dinner. At least let him come to like the happy hour before or something.
He's got like 4 runner-ups. Give him an invite to the cocktail hour.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at who he's lost to, and it's like, damn, he and Sergio were so tight for so long, and now he's lost to Rory twice. Once in a playoff and and once in regulation. So, Matt, let's talk a little bit about the LPGA and just kind of golf in general, and where you like how you view where the game's going, where you think the LPGA Tour has some opportunities here, and more importantly, let's talk about the new pool at Memorial Park.
That I think Joseph Lamagna from Fried Egg, my colleague, had a good picture of that from at Memorial Park this weekend. It kind of hit the ether and caught fire. I saw somebody on Twitter was going to chain themselves to a tree in protest.
That's
probably the most unanimous I've ever seen a group of people on the internet being vehemently against something. Maybe since like that built stone patio they threw in at St. Andrews, and everyone kind of hated that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Do we need to like kind of outlay the whole thing? Because I feel like people don't follow it closely enough to know.
Yeah, it would probably be good. I mean, you obviously cover the LPGA Tour more than most, so if you can kind of give everybody some backstory on that, and especially since you've caddied in that event before.
Yeah. First major of the LPGA season is called the Chevron Championship. It used to be hosted and was a myriad of different names at Mission Hills and Palm Desert, Palm Springs area. They had a famous, like, you win the tournament, the ladies jump in the water. There's a pond right by the 18th green. They call it Poppy's Pond. They basically turned into like a part of it into like a glorified swimming pool, and it turns into a whole thing. Get a robe around you. It's the kind of a tradition of the tour. When ONWA was founded the week before, because the ANA, or what it used to be called, the Chevron Championship, used to be held the week before the Masters. It was always kind of the dedicated week it was always at. And then once ONWA started, ONWA kind of took every sports writer away from that major championship to go cover that. And that basically made that event at Mission Hills dead. It was just basically dead. Because they're never going to host it earlier. They couldn't host it later because of Coachella. And there was nowhere for it to go. And so,
before you go any further, can I ask you something that I don't think I've ever asked you before? Do you think ONWA has hurt women's golf in the sense of like the LPGA Tour, or do you think it's brought more eyes to just the women's game in general? Like, do you feel like it's maybe 50-50?
It's 50-50. It definitely like nuked the first major in the LPGA schedule. They obviously started this ONWA event without any of it. Like, I remember Mike Wan telling me like he was never even privy to like them doing that. They just kind of got announced. So that
That's tough.
Kind of rubbed me the wrong way because I still think On was great. They let the women play there, but like let them play there 3 damn rounds. It's not that like why can't we let them do it?
Yeah. And especially just from a television coverage perspective, like just like you
I get
you
they
roll
don't
out
want
the whole
patrons out
drive
there
chip.
that
You roll out drive chip and putt on Sunday. Like you can. There's no reason that tournament should start and then
take
have
drive
a
and chip and putt and have it at the patch or something.
Yeah, I listen. I don't think that would be a bad idea either. Or better yet, take it off a Champions Retreat. You know, like if you want to, again, like with the patch now being redone, like play it at the patch. Like give me,
I think
again,
they enjoy. There's some Champions Retreat at the corporateness around some of the Champions Retreat stuff.
Yeah,
I think is what
true.
they use it for.
That's true.
So it's kind of like I'm kind of iffy on well, I still like not like 100% bought in on it. It's cool they play. I don't think it's looking at some of the past winners, like it's not a real barometer of who's the best player in the women's amateur game. It's a funky format, right? So you got to play 2 rounds at one place, play a practice round, then play a tournament round. But either way, so going back to the Chevron thing, the whole tournament kind of got thrown up at a heavel. So basically, Chevron takes over the sponsorship. Obviously, Chevron's based in Houston. Those folks there want to have the event in Houston. So like, we're going to move it to Houston. So let's move it to this great place called the Club at Carlton Woods. By all means, fine golf course. Not a place you host a major championship at, but like from like a name recognition standpoint, had like no Q value at all to me. Like it's a fine golf course, but it's not like a major championship worthy. When you look at what the other major championships are going to in the women's game, you got Women's Open U.S. Women's Open going to Riviera this year. You have Lytham, you have the Hazel teams of the world. And then you go to the Club at Carlton Woods. It's kind of like it's like basically let's go play this thing at Valhalla or something. Which Valhalla would be better than anything at this point.
Which they're getting. Valhalla's hosting. What is it? Is it Solheim Cup in 2 years?
Yeah, a couple of years. So yeah, it just never really equated to like a proper venue. No one really went out there. It's a hard place to walk around fans. It's like outside of Houston, the Woodlands. No one would really go to it. They kind of had a weird setup on the 18th hole. The LPGA seems to just always set themselves up for failure sometimes. They would just like create this backboard behind 18 green and players would just drill their second shots in this par 5 over the green into the grandstand and get a relief. So it just kind of turned into a mess. And I was actually shocked that, when Craig Kessler took over the LPGA Tour last year, that he was able to get it moved off of the Club at Carlton Woods that fast, which is great. Memorial Park's by all means a great golf course. Obviously hosted the Houston Open for the men. Mm-hmm. So I think it has some value there. It's in downtown Houston. It's going to be great. And everything was going the right direction. And then lo and behold, because the 18th hole at Memorial Park does not have any bodies of water on it, but the 16th and 18th do, which I thought might be cool if they rerouted it and finished on 17. If you really have to still jump in the damn water, let's just do that. But they're not going to do it. They announced, a couple months ago that at a press conference, they were going to add some kind of temporary body of water, which I thought would have been really hilarious if it was like an above ground pool, like a Texas redneck.
Just get one of those inflatable ones out there, a ladder.
That's a great brand. And you're a branding guy, Tyler. You put that thing up there, paint it and cover it in blue chevron logo, and it'll be sick.
Dude, red, white, and blue, and have imagine what you could do from a ticket sales perspective if you sold tickets in the pool. God, it's just imagine the corporate hospitality there.
Yeah. So it turned out they're like digging this little pool by the 18th green. It looks like a 15 by 10 deal. But the funny part is
like
it's only
a coffin.
It might be a coffin because it's only 4 feet deep, Tyler.
Yeah.
I don't know if you jumped in any
pond wasn't very deep either, though.
They had the funny part is Stacey Lewis's mom broke her leg in there one year and they had to go drudge it out and make it deeper.
That's what I was just going to ask. Didn't somebody break their leg? I didn't know if it was I thought it was either a player or a caddy, but yeah, imagine Nellie's caddy Jason jumping into that 4 foot deep pool if she happens to win. Yeah.
The funny part at Houston, I think Miyu Yamashita won last year. Whoever won, I don't know who. It wasn't Yamashita. Japanese girl wins. She can't swim, so they jump her throw her in the water at Carlton Woods, which is this giant pool, a giant pond, which is like snake infested. And lo and behold, this girl almost drowns. They kind of had to get her to the dock.
Mao Saigo won.
Mao Saigo it was one of the 9 Japanese players that won last year. Regret the error. The worst part, So even after this, they're going to do this temporary thing they dug out 4 feet deep, just to get it done for this tournament, next week. They're going to turn in the future. They're going to go in and rebuild the 18th hole and build a giant pond, which obviously, for those that don't know, Tom Doak did the golf course at Memorial Park, kind of collaborated with Brooks Koepka, Jim Crane, that whole deal. I could see Tom kind of rolling over in his grave, but he's not dead. But like just rolling over and being like, "What the hell are we doing here? Like, is this serious?" But they're going to build a giant pond on the 18th hole. Apparently, I still like it's a giant waste of money. I think we've already nuked the whole tournament. Let's kind of rebuild the branding of a new major and try not to tie in this jump thing and just let the jump die. But it sounds like
Is Chevron
I don't know
footing the
who's
bill for that?
I don't know who's responsible for this. I can't really get a clear answer on who is it. Every time I ask somebody about it, they're kind of pointing fingers a different direction. I don't think it's the LPGA folk making this decision.
Well, I doubt the city of Houston's footing the bill. I mean, they own and operate the golf course, or maybe it's whatever Crane's
it sounds like a
foundation,
Chevron found. It sounds like that group of people are doing it, and I'm shocked no one for the LPGAs that came in. Let's hold up and stop doing this.
I was just gonna say, like, this decision obviously came months ago, before somebody that we think very highly of, Chad Coleman, new chief marketing officer for the LPGA Tour. Congrats, #Chad. Can't wait to see you do things that aren't like this. But it's just crazy, because I thought when Craig was named CEO of the LPGA Tour that there was gonna just be and I know he couldn't change it overnight, right? But it's just like, it just seems like he's been stepping on landmines like every 5 feet. And whether it be the kickoff in Orlando this year, which again, it was cold, like it was not like it was historically cold for Florida, but like it was still,
it wasn't
playable.
a good decision.
No, absolutely not. And and then this, I mean, this is tough. I mean, the last, like, if you look at it, like 2024 to now, 2024 Solheim Cup, like just the logistical issues was a nightmare. I happened to be there that day. Thankfully, didn't have to ride the bus. Got a parking pass. But I mean, I like on site at Solheim Cup, that like literally for the first like wave of matches, it was like me and 600 other people. That was it.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Yeah, it's tough. I think, the LPGA is a great, Craig's great. I think Craig has a good mind. I think obviously Chad's great, an old friend of mine, ours. They're going in the right direction. I think there's like, the problem is it's a large organization, right? You have a lot of people that work there that are kind of like entrenched in like kind of like the PGA Tour way, right? They've been there forever. They just do what they want to do, and they don't think much about it. And then I think some people are going to end up maybe losing their jobs through this process, but I think they're starting to change some things. I watched the social stuff, like even watching this week, the JM Eagle, like they're putting out some better social content. It seems a little more polished. They're starting to get, like, I think Chad's still trying to figure out his, any direction he can go and getting things established. I think everything's going the right direction. It's just, there's going to be hiccups. And I hope they can try to find a solution for Chevron, because it's like, all this stuff just takes away from the fact that we had a good chance of having a new major, and the whole story has already jumped the shark of turning into a sideshow pond, which is unfortunate.
I mean, Cam,
as just on the fried eggs post on it that I sent to you, Tyler, I said, this is all. It looks like a pool that I would put, like I'd call a contractor, say, hey, can you put this in my backyard? Can we just do this nice square rectangular?
It doesn't look bad. Like, actually, if they're going to do between this and redoing the 18th hole with a freaking pond, I'll take this little pool. This is make it a little deeper and do it in the thing. I don't want to rebuild the 18th hole. I think that's stupid. But
I'm interested to like see how far off of the green it is. Like, it doesn't seem like it.
I did joke
like it might be in play, but
if a player hits it in the pond next week, they should lose their status.
Okay.
From Joseph's picture on social, it looks like it's behind one of the grandstands.
It's like to the side of the green. It's to the right of the green. I think it's probably 4. I mean, I wonder if I can measure it.
The players can't be asking for this, right? They're not like, well, what about?
No, I don't think they. What I hope happens, and it'll be great if someone wins and they refuse to jump in it. That's all I can hope for.
Especially on camera. If they're just
I could see like Charlie Hull winning.
Cut the footage.
She's being like, hell no, mate.
I'm not going in there. Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, no, I'm good. Yeah, I think it's like a good 30 or 40 yards off to the right of the green, from my understanding, where
Okay.
the stuff is on that hole.
So it's in play for
But-
you and I, Tyler. That's for sure.
Someone could hit a giant high yaw over there. Who knows?
Yeah.
Cam, as you're more of a casual golf fan when it comes to the LPGA Tour, I mean, what are your thoughts of the state of the game when it comes to women's golf? And I know obviously Anwa kind of ramps up Masters coverage for everybody, but I mean, how much LPGA Tour golf are you watching? I mean, obviously, given we all three of us have children the same age, so we're probably watching golf as much as we possibly can when we have time. But where are you at when it comes to the LPGA Tour? From a more casual viewing perspective, in your retrospect.
Yeah, I keep up on it. I'm not necessarily, sitting there watching it like I'm going to watch probably Sunday, at the RSM or Augusta or really any larger men's tournament. But I do think, from what I can tell, Matthew's insight here, it's in relatively good hands with a path forward over the next couple of years. And then, I mean, our generation of golfers, of guys that I'll speak to, I have good buddies who they're currently in high school playing. Like, it's just going to continue to grow because golf is growing in general. Parents are now putting their kids in golf earlier, and it's going to be the same for the women's golf game. That being said, like if a tournament were ever to come to Colorado for the women's, I'd probably take my wife out there, go watch the ladies play in person. But I don't tune in as much as I probably should to the LPGA. I will watch like the majors and the coming down the stretch, on the back nine. But I don't really have much insight into it because try to balance time with being a dad, being outside with the kiddo. So
I'm curious to see, because there's 3 new parties in place with the LPGA Tour executive staff, right? There's a new CCO, there's Chad, and there's Craig. And I'm interested to see what, Matt, you and I have kicked this around quite a bit, even before Craig and Chad joined the LPGA Tour. What's going to happen with the media rights deal with the LPGA and Golf Channel? Because obviously NBC, for a while there, it seemed like Golf Channel was going to go away and everything was going to shift to NBC Sports. And then now there is no NBC Sports Network. And now Golf Channel seems to be staying. I have no idea what the status of Versant or whatever that venture is. And I'm just curious, I'm curious in the future as far as like, how am I going to be able to access LPGA Tour golf on television? Because right now I maybe get 1-2 hour window a week.
Yeah, 2 or 3 hours. Yeah, that's the hard part of like selling TV rights. Like, where do you slot this in? They kind of they've kind of negotiated stuff with the PGA Tour. I wonder if there's a way to split that negotiation and kind of be able to go on their own. But I don't know where you put it. Like, if it puts it on a streaming platform that's not quite the same reach, like they might get some money for it, but they won't get as much reach with actual people watching it. I don't know what the answer is. I think the answer might start out with kind of revamping the broadcast a little bit. I still kind of think they made a whole bunch of news saying, oh, we're going to this updated broadcast, new cameras, new technology. And yeah, some of it's good. It looks a lot more cleaner product, but if you close your eyes and still listen to it, it sounds like the same broadcast it was last year. And that's the unfortunate side. I love Grant Boone, great friend. We talk a lot.
Morgan's awful. I'm sorry. She's brutal, dude. I like her as a person, but she's got to go. Like,
yeah, I think that's kind of what I was getting at, trying to beat around the bush a little bit. But I think there needs to be.
It's fine. I'll say it. It's hard.
They've had Mel Reed in there a couple times this year, and I really enjoy what Mel has to say. I think a lot of people complain about her accent, but I think she's great. She's actually quite a knowledgeable gal when it comes to golf. Likes to have a little fun. Great. I think she's just a good opinionated person to be a good color analyst of the golf. I think that's the way it should go. They need to find a way to just kind of do the broadcast a little differently. It feels too much like a stale old broadcast you always see, and it doesn't have to be the same thing.
I got to interact with Mel and her wife and their children at Solheim Cup, and man, they are just a blast to be around. And
Yeah,
I can see why Mel is such a fan favorite, and she's awesome.
I've shared many libations with Mel Reed before. We've broken a lot of broken some bread before. She's fun to hang out with.
Yeah, her wife also seems to just be an absolute hoot as well. So
yeah, she's fun.
Yeah. So listen, man, I want the women's game to continue growing. I've had a chance to do some work with the NCAA's over the last couple of years, and I think what's going on out at Omni La Costa for the central site of the NCAA championships is really, that, like, the fact that we're able to put the NCAA's in primetime coverage at the same place multiple years in a row. You've seen just great tournaments the last couple of years, and then that translates to the men's game as well. I think the state of golf is in a really very unique space where, say, 85% of golf is in a really fantastic area. Like, it's in a really good spot for growth. Who knows what's going to happen with LIV? Who cares what's going to happen with LIV? Truthfully, I mean, I think the amateur game is in a great place. I think Matt, you're a competitive mid.
Is it though?
I mean, I think the NIL. Listen, if you want to go down the college sports route and talk about NIL, that's a whole nother podcast for another time. But I think from listen, I'm not a YouTube golf guy, but I think it's not hurting the game. I don't think it is. I think it's bringing a ton of eyeballs to the game. Are they the right eyeballs? I don't know. But I think eyeballs on golf are going to continue to grow the sport and going to continue to grow just the game in general. And I mean, to be honest with you, we all found golf in different ways, amongst the three of us. And I hate to say it, but golf's never been more popular. And that's crazy because, we're in a place where no Tiger, no Phil. And
well, Tiger's still making headlines. So we got that going for the game of golf. It's just not in the right way. I was going to tie back, going back to like broadcasting and, the growth of the game. Like, it's just so hard to, like, if you're not even the least bit interested in golf, you could close your eyes, you could be the best broadcast in the world. You're not going to find it interesting, men's or women's. Right. And like, how do like broadcasting and the people doing these broadcasts make it so they can captivate somebody who's not quite into golf?
I think Smiley's been great for the PGA Tour, but I also think the happy hour that they do with Smiley it just feels forced. Like, I want to see Smiley in the booth more. I think Smiley's really, really good on the mic. And from the CBS side of things, I mean, the more that you can give me with Colt and Johnson Wagner, by all means, I think the two of them are great.
Yeah, I think you need some of that in the women's game. I don't think it really exists. I think it's just a stale product on the TV side. And the other part is, like, if you're tuning into it, like Cameron, you don't know a lot of these players, you don't know their stories, you don't know the backgrounds, and it's hard to get that portrayed and showing golf shots. So they've got to find a different way to kind of, like, either it's through some kind of documentary series on, like, the Full Swing type thing, although Full Swing is what it is, but they got to find a way to get these players' personalities shown more. Because some of them are really funny.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, obviously we spend time around Nelly, right? We're at the same club, and when you get Nelly to come out of her shell, it's completely different than what you see on TV, and that's difficult. But
a hard shell to get her out of.
Well, it just depends on who's.
She's not the person I'd pick for the personality contest.
No, absolutely not. But I mean, I was just gonna say, like, do you ever foresee somebody like Michelle getting more involved with the LPGA Tour, or maybe a USGA? You think of, like, the role that the USGA created for Jason Gore. Could you see Michelle getting into that? I mean, I will say Michelle's had a fantastic off-course career, when it comes to, the businesses that she's been involved in outside of LA Golf. But everything else, she's been involved in, has been really good. The sportsbox.ai stuff, obviously, like, Bryson's group just purchased that. And, that was another former LPGA Tour player that, Michelle was involved in that group. And, there's just a lot, like Michelle's still very connected to the game. And I'm just curious, do you foresee Michelle doing more with golf, or do you think she's happy being away from it?
I think she's still sussing it all out. I don't think she knows exactly what she wants out of it yet. so it's hard to speculate. I think she's grown to be more of ambassadorish to the game. She hosts her own event. Some of that stuff is taking more of an ambassador type role. I think she could. I don't like. She doesn't obviously has made enough money through her career. She doesn't need a job. She's still motivated to do something. So I don't really know what it's going to be, but I like her approach of how she's become more of an ambassador of the game than I thought she would be. I thought she was going to retire and kind of do her appearances, and that was kind of it. But she's shown a little more gumption of being involved in the game, which is good. I'm glad to see her do it. It's definitely. I think it's a different change perspective from having kids. Honestly,
I remember when she first came on the scene, and I just remember thinking like, because she's not that much older than I am, and I just remember thinking like, damn, where did I miss the boat here to where I could be a child prodigy and whatnot, but and then to kind of see her career turn out the way that it did, and more importantly, like to see her the joy that she has in being a mother has just been fun to watch, man. I can only imagine what those 3 years were like, but I imagine that was obviously outside of your personal life, that was probably one of the highlights of your professional career. So I always really want to get to talk about that.
Yeah, it was a fun couple of years. I kind of look back on that.
I know we're up on time here, but I'm curious, what years were you on Michelle's back?
It was kind of like the when was that? It was kind of like 20 into 2015 through 2019, kind of that realm. 2016 through 2019 or 2020, yeah, that kind of stuff.
You got a dub, right?
Yeah, we won in Singapore. I was there for that one.
That's sweet.
Yeah, flags in my garage.
You did Solheim.
Did 2 Solheims. I did Solheim with Angel Yen, so it was 1 Solheim with Michelle. Then she kind of started getting hurt, so it's kind of like dealing with injuries. So I kind of retired her basically.
Are you? I mean, obviously, I try and keep it quick. Michelle's. She rode off into the sunset, kind of at Pebble Beach, but news is out that she's back this year, U.S. Open. Is this the final swan song? Can we see you on the bag?
I will not be there. Her husband's caddying for her. It's kind of Riviera means a lot to her husband. They're all kind of Johnny's from that area. So I think that means a lot more to them. I'm going to let them have that moment. I don't need to insert myself into that kind of thing.
But you'll be out there for media day though. So you'll probably cross.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I'll be out there in a couple weeks for US Women's Open Media Day. I'm looking forward to that. Seeing Riv for the first time. That's going to be fun. I wish, we'll see. I'm hoping she plays well. I feel like she's grinding her tail off. There was at one point she was freaking out about her putting and sent us a bunch of videos in a group chat with someone else. And I was like, dude, you need to chill out a little bit.
I mean, that's kind of always been her thing, right? If it wasn't staying healthy, it was the putting.
Yeah, she's a good putter when she like it's tough. Like when she kind of gets out of the field, she can make a lot of putts. Yeah.
Well, listen, man, thank you so much for taking some time. I really appreciate it. Give everybody. Give yourself a little plug here. Where can everybody find your work? Where if they want to follow you on social, where you at?
Just Instagram's my name, Matthew Galloway on the X, formerly known as Twitter app. I post some stuff up there every now and then. Still, Friday stuff's moving a bit. We're kind of figuring out how to cover women's golf, so we're kind of all up in the air with all that stuff. But there should be some stuff on their socials soon, hopefully.
Awesome. Well, Cam, thanks for having Matt and I on, man.
Yeah,
always appreciate always love getting to chop it up. And let's get a golf trip on the schedule for this year, Cam, since we didn't get one in 25.
Yeah. Matt, I do have one question that we'll sign off on.
All right.
What's your favorite golf course you've ever played?
Oh God.
If you gotta give me 2, I'll take 2 or 3, I don't want
give them the one that the one you've enjoyed the most recently, and then your favorite ever.
Yeah.
Oh God, the most recent. High Grove was pretty good, Tyler. That was a nice day. I played Seminole end of 2025. That was a very enjoyable experience for me. Being in Florida, kind of the best course in the state, I think it is.
Right. You had a pretty good group too, which certainly helps.
Yeah, we had a fun day out there at Matt Cahill. I always lean towards I love Scotland and I love everything over there. There's a lot of really good golf, like the North Barracks of the world, like Old Course and that whole thing. It doesn't get much better than that for me.
Yeah,
that's kind of where I want to live. I just want to go live over there. Say forget this place and go over there.
A little different than Florida, but yeah.
Yeah, I love Scotland, man. It's kind of
Sure.
like it's the best. Can't beat
I've
it.
yet to go. I have yet to go across the pond at all. So, and I tell my wife, I said, when we go, just so we're clear, my golf clubs are coming with me. So,
Yeah, that's
golf in the UK is awesome. It's hard to beat.
yeah. It's all like Scott. Yeah, it's the old course. That whole realm for me is like even like the places like Ely, like the lesser knowns. Like I really relish those days I've had in the golf course over there.
yeah, perfect. Well, hey Matt, I appreciate you coming on, spending the
Yeah,
time.
man. Anytime.
Don't take
Anytime.
that lightly, and appreciate that, Tyler. Thank you as always.
Anytime, buddy.
Benchmark Collective on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Instagram, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, Sam.
Adios.